Hey guys, hope you are all doing well today. So we have a matchup between the Dark Elves going against the forces of Brettonia. The Dark Elf army is being led by Ice Power Total War, as were the previous Dark Elf videos I uploaded. And Ice Power likes to go, of course, with his rather off-meta Dark Elf builds, which in this case is going to be centered around a very heavy cavalry core and the chill of Sontar. Ice Power loves his War Hydras. So, for the cavalry core that I previously mentioned, we have 3 units of Cold One Knights, who are dedicated anti-large cavalry, so they will fare relatively well against the elite Brettonian cavalry, but they will need to be supported by the Slaanesh Harvesters along with the Knights of Ebon-Claw to really do damage to the elite Brettonian Knights. The Knights of Ebon-Claw are of course one of the best cavalry units in the game. Let's quickly pull up their stats. 49 melee attack and 52 melee defense. That is higher than most infantry units straight up. So these are very, very elite cavalry units, and they should be able to chew through most of what they end up fighting. In the skies we have Marathi along with the Manticore forming a relatively small gooning squad. But if they manage to focus down, say, King Loon or the Paladin by themselves, they should be able to do quite a bit of damage. The front line is just going to be 3 units of Dreadspears, and that seems to be pretty much it for the Dark Elf army. So let's move on to Brettonia. We have a front line of Spearmen at Arm with shields, and the gaps in their lines are being filled in by Battle Pilgrims. Battle Pilgrims on top of these Spearmen should be able to chew through the Dreadspears relatively quickly. For the Archer line, we have 2 units of Fire Arrows and 2 units of Pox Arrow Peasant Bowmen. They all should do a decent bit of damage to the Cavalry Corps of the Dark Elves, though I believe most of the Cavalry units are shielded, except for the Slaanesh Harvesters, so should be able to do a decent bit of damage. The Pox Arrows, of course, with their poison debuffs, are going to be very important in this matchup. We have a Damsel of Life bringing Regrowth and Earthblood, I believe. Should be Earthblood. Yeah, Earthblood and Regrowth. We have King Leon. See what he's bringing. He's bringing Stand Your Ground, the Lion Shield giving 44% missile resistance and magic resistance. And the Sword of Corone, minus 24 melee defense and minus 30 armor. That is very, very powerful actually. It reminds me of Helm of Discord. Not as good as Helm of Discord, but still quite powerful. We also have a Paladin as a bodyguard to the Great King. In the forest we have 2 units of Knights of the Realm and the Beast Slayers of Bastogne. Seems like the Brettonian have gone rather light on cavalry, and I'm not really sure that this was the matchup that they should have gone relatively light on the cavalry corps. Dark Elves definitely have some very powerful monsters and cavalry that the Brettonians really need to watch out for, and their greatest way to combat these threats would be with dedicated powerful anti-large cavalry such as Grail Knights, or bringing Alberic along with some questing knights to imbue them with extra anti-large capabilities. So I'm not sure how this Brettonian army will be faring against this cav-heavy Dark Elf build, but of course it all comes down to playstyle, and let's see how either player decides to take this matchup. The Brettonians of course will probably be leaning heavily upon the king along with the paladin, since I don't really see too many options for taking down this elite cavalry corps of the Dark Elves. The Dark Elves also do have a slight gooning potential in Marathi along with the Manticore, but not anything crazy. If the Paladin and King Leon stick together in the skies, Marathi and the Manticore shouldn't be too big of an issue. And the Fire Arrows now opening fire into some Dreadspears. Dreadspears are, they're silver shielded, so maybe switching targets to some of the Cold One Knights would be ideal. Let's speed it up as Ice Power moves his army around and gets ready to pick his engagements. So the right Brettonian flank is looking very, very weak. We have the Knights of Ebenclaw along with some Cold One Dread Knights, having practically nothing stopping them from just charging into these peasant bowmen and completely eliminating the archer line. Unfortunately, these Knights of the Realm are rather slow to react, and so the archer line is going to be compromised pretty darn quickly. And now we have King Leon and the Paladin taking down the Feral Manticore with the Sword of Corone there as well. I believe we also have a Soul Stealer giving, let's see, Soul Stealer on Marathi? No, not yet. Or maybe it was there and she gained back a little bit of HP. Marathi herself is rather weak, taking a ton of damage from Leon and the Paladin, so the Brettonians have gotten the better of the leadership exchange, but the rest of the battle is going heavily in the favor, well, not heavily, it's going rather well for the Dark Elves. I slowed it down because there's a lot going on and I wanted to examine the rest of the battle. So we have the archer line being compromised quickly, but we do have some Cold One Knights being routed from the battlefield. Seems like some spearmen at arms did manage to catch them and rout them from the field. We have an Earthblood catching King Leon along with the Paladin, and now they are forced to disengage as the elite Dark Elf cavalry tries to take them down. Marathi herself is anti-large, and so she'll do a decent bit of damage to Leon, but now she's going to be surrounded by the Paladin. King will probably be coming in for a couple shots as well, and so Marathi really has to start running from the fight. As expected, the Knights of the Realm really didn't fare the best against the Knights of Ebenclaw along with those Cold One Dread Knights, and the Brettonians have lost their mobility core, unfortunately. Marathi is completely surrounded. We have an Earthblood being dropped on both the King and the Paladin, and Marathi once again going in. Nope, I thought she was going in for a gooning attempt, but seems like it may be a Soul Stealer, potentially. Yeah, Soul Stealer catching both the Paladin and King, and the Manticore does return only to rampage. The Chill of Sontar is still super healthy. I don't really see anything on the Brettonian roster right now that can take down the Great War Hydra, especially with its powerful regeneration, which currently isn't even being used since he is at pretty much full HP. Yeah, he still has full regeneration, so he hasn't lost a single bit of HP, and now the battle is looking quite heavily favored for the Dark Elves, as the Paladin is getting relatively low on HP. King Leon taking a bunch of hits from the Chill of Sontar. Marathi also chasing him. Marathi has to watch out not to overextend, since the Paladin along with the King can probably take her down. We have some Cold One Knights routing from the field, but the Knights of Ebenclaw still very, very healthy themselves. Yeah, I don't see too many options for taking down the dreaded large units of the Dark Elves. I think the only option the Brettonians have at this point is to try and goon out Marathi, but that will be relatively tough when she is supported by all this elite Dark Elf cavalry. The Brettonians are winning the infantry fight, since they did bring battle pilgrims along with spearmen at arms, and the Dark Elves only had 3 units of dread spears, but that really won't do them any good when there's still a full health War Hydra along with the Knights of Ebenclaw and Slaanesh's Harvesters. Let's see, where's Marathi? Gotta keep an eye out for Marathi, since she can be gooned out really, really quickly by the Paladin and King Leon. The Damsel of Life is still, I believe she was routed from the battlefield, but she has probably popped a regrowth on herself and will be remaining in the fight for a little bit longer. Marathi in the skies actually gained a bit of HP, probably from a Soul Stealer or something. And so, yeah, I don't see many options left on the Brettonian roster to take down Marathi along with the War Hydra. But they are trying to make a sort of last stand, reform ranks, get the infantry units in front of their archers, and form some sort of a firing line. Paladin along with, actually not the Paladin, King Leon along with the Damsel of Life, routing off some Cold One Knights, and really just cleaning up any Dark Elf units that aren't in this giant death blob over here, smashing through the remnants of the Brettonian army. And now let's speed it up, as both armies are just really cleaning up units, not really doing too much in the form of a big engagement. Dark Elves forming up lines, getting ready for a charge, potentially, and the the Brettonians forming up a battle line. We have a single unit. Okay, wait, what is going on here? Where are these guys? Okay, so these are the Slaanesh Harvesters, but for some reason there's one dude all the way in the back line over here. Anyways, doesn't really matter. We have the Slaanesh Harvesters getting a charge into the Battle Pilgrims, along with the Knights of Ebon going into some more Battle Pilgrims, actually. And still, the Chill of Sontar at full HP. I really can't believe it. Yeah, taking no damage pretty much the entirety of the battle, and whatever he has, he's just gained back instantly from his massive regeneration. A Sword of Corone has been popped, giving a rather large debuff to any units around the king, but he is forced to retreat from the fight from the sheer power of the Dark Elf Cavalry along with Marathi, who is now at almost full HP. Let's see. Honestly, the thing that Brettonia has to try to do right now is a blob fight. They do have a lot of elite infantry units that they possess that could eventually wear down the Chill of Sontar along with the cavalry units. The thing they have to force is a blob fight where they trap cavalry units, try to stop them from cycle charging, and try to just wear down the Chill of Sontar along with Marathi, but I don't really see that happening, given the fact that the Chill of Sontar has so much regeneration potential, and Marathi, with her Soul Stealer, can also gain back quite a bit of HP. Slaanesh Harvesters are being routed from the field though, which is one good thing for Brettonia, and the Knights of Ebon have taken quite a bit of damage themselves. Ooh, King Leon is super low in HP, only 1300 HP left, while Marathi almost at her healing cap at 2000 HP. If the king keeps going for cycle charging like this, I could honestly see Marathi dying, but Marathi, of course, is smarter than that and will be disengaging from the fight and making the Chill of Sontar take on the great Brettonian king. Ooh, Slaanesh Harvesters returning for the fight, getting a great rear charge into these peasant bowmen, and will likely be routing them from the battlefield. And at this point, it's likely going to be army losses very soon, I believe. Yeah, there isn't much left to stop the War Hydra along with the Knights of Ebon. I think only the Beast Slayers of Bastogne have the capability, or the anti-large prowess, I guess, to take down the remainder of the Dark Elf army, but there really isn't enough of them left to make a difference. The king is being routed from the field, only at 410 HP. Those Knights of Ebon have just been so dangerous in this battle. They are a very costly cavalry unit, but if used correctly, they can be a nuisance for anyone to deal with, and with that, the Brettonians rout from the battlefield. So let's go into the end screen and see how each unit did. So we have Slaanesh Harvesters getting 135 kills, definitely doing a wonderful job, along with these Knights of Ebon. So both the Regiment of Renowned Cavalry units really carried this battle for the Dark Elves. We have the Chill of Sontar, who himself didn't lose like a single point of HP for the majority of the battle, and so I think that was a huge loss for Brettonia. Not focusing down that Chill of Sontar really threw the battle for Brettonia. We have Marathi, of course, who with her Soul Stealers and anti-large capabilities was a nuisance, and the rest of the Dark Elf army performed rather admirably. The Cold One Knights, the Dread Spears, they held out for as long as they could. And for the side of Brettonia, King Leon, he was honestly supposed to be the biggest damage dealer in this entire army, and so 17 kills is a little bit disappointing, along with the Paladin with 8 kills. This Brettonian army really had to rely on the king along with the Paladin, but unfortunately they did not step up to the plate. We have the Damsel of Life as well, who I believe was routed from the field relatively quickly, but was able to recover and pop a couple rather decent Earthbloods. Battle Pilgrims, of course, they were a decent pick, but unfortunately due to the fact that the Dark Elves had a huge cavalry corps, they could just be cycle charged to death, as I'm guessing this one unit of Battle Pilgrims with only one kill was. I'm guessing he was probably just cycle charged to death. And the Peasant Bowmen were compromised very quickly, which, as you can see, resulted in very little kills from them. I think the biggest thing about this Brettonian army was not going for more heavy cav. That's pretty much the only way I could see them winning this battle, getting some Grail Knights, getting some Questing Knights, and just forming a death blob to try and outfight the Dark Elf cavalry. But anyways, great fought battle on both sides, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys in the next one.